How do we catch white bass and wipers? And they're not fundamentally different other than possibly the size of the bait I throw. So I'm not gonna show you 15 different baits. I'm gonna show you the genre and you can size it accordingly. There is one thing I wanna strongly warn you about though. In my experience, if you use large baits for wipers, your consistency is going to drop a lot. They are much more consistent on small baits for me, and the biggest wipers I've caught in my whole life have all come on the littlest baits. I caught a 17-pounder, that was my biggest one ever, on a little tiny baby surface lure, little tiny walking bait that's been discontinued for years. But it's literally 3 inches long, a little tiny surface bait, and that's what I caught my 17-pounder on. That big one that Ronnie caught, 3-inch gulp minnow. The most consistent baits for wipers for me are average to small size. White bass, on the other hand, being that they're more aggressive, more prolific, they'll bite all kinds of stuff and they'll get really aggressive about it, and you can get away with throwing bigger baits with them if you'd like to. That will work. We have to start off with topwater bait of some sort because that's really fun. So we've got a walking bait right here and a popper right here, both Berkeley baits. Notice both of them are in chrome because I very much like chrome, chartreuse, and white when it comes to wiper or white bass fishing. Those three colors are very, very consistent. Both of these in chrome. The calmer it is, I'll work the walking bait. The windier it is, I'll work the popper. The only other possibility for me in terms of surface baits would be the Chapo, and I love the little Chapo. Ton of surface commotion, it's a little bit quicker than either of the other two topwater baits, and it's easier to fish for sure. So if you got somebody that's not good at working a bait, this is an excellent choice for them. Another easy one, and this can be fished high or low or anywhere in between, is going to be a chrome spoon of some sort. This is a Johnson splinter spoon right here. Could be a Johnson Sprite, either one. Again, we're at chrome. You'll notice I put a big ball bearing swivel on the front of this one so it'll avoid line twist. The thing can spin without any problem. I can throw it a long ways. The beauty of the spoon like this is I can also fish it vertical. So if I'm later into the fall and I'm seeing fish on the graph, I can fish it vertical, or I can make long bombs into fish feeding on the surface and retrieve it fast, and it'll stay very high in the water column. Again, a small profile, excellent choice. The next one I'm going to look at is going to be a crankbait of some sort, and a crankbait's another one of the easy ones. I again go with less aggressive crankbaits. This is a blad shad right here, which is basically a heavier version of a flicker shad. Flicker shad's a fantastic choice. This one was easier for me to grab right here, but the color is perfect. I love the white and the chartreuse with the gray back there, very shaddy looking bait. This is the bait that I caught the fish on my last trip to Kansas very consistently, was this bait right here. And for the record, I caught a bunch of other species with it as well. The flicker shad is well known, or the bad shad, as being very, very much multi-species crankbaits. And whenever I get around any sort of shad schools, which is what we fish wipers and white bass around, I want multi-species bait. That's a wiper too. All right. This is gonna get interesting, guys, because I got him on light line. And I'm sure we're wicked backlit, but I've got that little, I'm guessing it's a wiper just by how he hit. And I've got him on a little flicker shad, and there's shad flicking all around the boat like crazy. And oh yeah, that's a nice wiper too. That's exactly what we're looking for right here, guys. That's gonna be dinner right here. If I just keep him on, and he just train wrecked this flicker shad, guys, and I mean train wrecked it. And I've got it on the little winch spinning rod because flicker shads aren't heavy. They're hard to cast because they're light, but man, they get a lot of bites. And I'm in a lake that's got walleyes and bass and wipers, and it's about as multi-species of a crankbait as you're gonna get. Now he's hooked goofy too, and he's not a happy camper. This one's gonna get interesting. If I can get him up here. Got him in there right now, okay. That's a good eating size fish. Hopefully we'll catch bigger ones than that, but we're gonna put that one in the live well, and that's dinner. Another one that's close to that multi-species wise, a lipless crankbait. This is a war pig right here. Again, notice the chrome. In this case, chrome with blue, but mostly chrome. A 1/2 ounce lipless crankbait, similar to the spoon. I can throw it a long ways. I can fish it vertical. I can fish it horizontal or anywhere in between. When the wind is blowing, this is one of the first ones I will gravitate to, again, because I can throw it and I can tight line it all the way to the boat. I can feel it no matter what's going on. If I stall it, it will shimmy its way to the bottom. If I rip it, it'll make a bunch of noise in a hurry. You can probably hear it. A lot of noise in this bait. An excellent choice right here is a lipless crankbait, and I like the war pig. How cool is that? That's a cool fish. See his buddy with him right there. You can see his buddy swimming right with him. Crazy how that works. For me, wipers and white bass are all about the jerk bait, and that's the Stunna jerk bait right there. You guys have seen that a ton. That's a very natural colored one. Again, a shaddy colored. Here's the cutter. This is the little baby cutter in the saltwater lineup, little cutter 70 that came out in the saltwater lineup. It was originally a cutter 90 in the freshwater lineup, but they moved it over. Again, excellent. And I actually like the saltwater version better because it's a little bit smaller. And when it comes to consistency with white bass or wipers, it works really, really good. If you can jerk a jerkbait off the dam and then pause it a little bit like that, you can go right back to catching them. And now I'm up to 4 casts and 2 fish with the jerkbait, and I fished a 1/4 mile or more of dam and didn't catch anything on the crankbait we were slaughtering them with just a few minutes ago, or just, well, not a few minutes, maybe an hour ago. So yeah, I think we made a pretty good adjustment. And then the last one I'll throw out there is going to be the hit stick. If you're a fan, you might know that last May I did a fish a day for the month of May, where I wanted to catch 1 fish every day for the whole month, no matter where I was. This hit stick right here, or a hit stick like this one, did, I think, 22 of those days on the hit stick, no matter where I was. Very consistent spring bait, and when you're talking about the spring spawning run of the shad up on the dam face, this is a very hard one to beat. It's going to be the hit stick. It floats, so I can throw it right up on the dam face, jerk it down a little bit, and if it hits into the rocks too much, I can let it float right back up. Keep in mind the shad are very high in the water column as well, but something like that is going to be very, very difficult to beat. Bottom line is this: they're very much a power fishing fish most of the time. They're not the kind of fish that you really have to finesse a whole lot. Now, there are times when you do have to finesse them, and when I do have to finesse them, it's going to come down to something very, very versatile. And you guys might immediately go to a gulp minnow, which would be an excellent choice. A 3-inch gulp minnow on a jig head is an excellent choice. The problem with a 3-inch gulp minnow is you'll go through a whole lot of them, particularly around white bass, when you're getting bites almost every cast, even if they're not feeding well. Then I'm going to something like this little power switch right here. This is a hybrid jig. Basically, it's internally molded and it hangs horizontal. No matter how I work it, it stays horizontal. It can be fished, again, vertically, horizontally, or anywhere in between. It's a very shaddy color, which is another key thing. And this is the bait I used to target them when they were being very finicky on Boyd Lake. All right, just keep working and working and working the power switch. I am married to this thing this year, guys. It has been, for the year that I've been playing with it, it has just turned into such a good bait for us for a lot of stuff. And the thing is, it's a multi-species bait, so there's no telling. Looks like you got a white bass, which is exactly kind of what we were expecting. And we'll put him in the net right there. And there is a very classic Boyd Lake white bass, guys. They don't get any more classic than that. They do get bigger, but there it is. There's the power switch right there, guys. And that's the original color right there. Perfect little white bass.